This is called Conversation with the Klars.
Brothers Bistro, hot bites, bringing you tips to ensure your success.
We're going to talk to you today about consistency, right? I always say to my kids, they grew up knowing what? Consistency is the key.
You're consistently talking about consistency?
Yeah, I always do. My kids, you can tell them, what's the key? You could say to them, what's the key? They'll say consistency, because they know. But let's think about that, Ken. How does that relate to, let's say, fitness? How does that relate?
Well, if you're not consistent with fitness, then you're not going to see any results. We know that, right? You got to be consistent. In fact, there are some people that believe if you're not consistent, you're just wasting time. You're just throwing your time away.
Right. So you have to do enough to make a little bit of in fitness. You have to do enough to do more than you would normally do to make your muscles sore so they can grow and you can get some results, right? But are you going to see those results right away?
Well, and it's even important to, I want to make sure we backstop what you said about doing enough that your muscles are sore, right? Especially with fitness and working out. You want to start easy. You want to start with something that you can do every single day.
Right.
Without any excuses. Yeah. You're not so sore the next day you don't feel like doing it. Your consistency trumps intensity every time.
Yeah, but there are people in the gym, I'm only using that for an example because I go there regularly, and they look the same year in, year out. Now, maybe they wouldn't look the same year in, year out, but they don't seem to be doing enough to sustain some change. So I think you start off with something you can repeat, and then you won't be quite as sore as you increase intensity or duration or whatever.
For sure. You dial up the intensity along the way so that you're not disabled, walking around with pterodactyl arms for a week. So fitness is easy, right? Because you can actually measure the results pretty easily. But
it's not right away. Remember, it takes 6 weeks, 8 weeks till you start seeing any kind of results.
And when we say with nutrition, we start all of our clients with nutrition because that's something we think we can really manage. And most people that are a little heavier, a little overweight and out of shape, they don't want to work out. And they don't want to do all that. They're not motivated. So we know that if we can get them losing a little weight, get their nutrition on track, they're going to have more energy and they're going to feel like working out.
Right.
But nutrition is the same. You got to be consistent with your nutrition. If every other day you go and eat a donut or 5, you're not going to lose weight.
You can make minor missteps, but you can't do it. You can't do that consistently.
How many calories does it take to lose a pound?
It's 3,500 calories. So that's 500. That's 500 calories a day for a week, 3,500 calories. There's 1 pound of body fat. So in order to do that, if you eat one donut, it's like 200 or 300 calories. You can add a couple of donuts and you've just
I've seen you eat donuts. The donuts you order, those big cinnamon rolls, they're like 1,000 calories probably.
Yeah. Well, and again, you something like that, you can do it periodically. You just can't make a habit of it. The habit has got to be the good health, the clean eating.
So think about consistency. Okay, where else? Money is the same thing. Finances.
Right? Yeah, you can spend a little bit of money on the credit card, but if you do it every day.
Well, and if you save a little bit every day, you get this compounding interest. It's the same thing with your health and nutrition, is the compounding effect that happens over time if you're consistent. If you're not consistent, you're wasting your time.
So I got something to add to those two things that we brought up.
We talked about 3 things.
What did we talk about? The 3 things?
Nutrition, fitness, and money.
Okay. Those 3 things.
You stand corrected?
Yeah, I stand corrected. My brother's right. He likes me to tell him that. He's right. So I would say to you too that you can greatly accelerate your progress if you have a trainer or mentor or coach, whatever you want to call them. But somebody that's kind of been there where you are before, and you can call on. But it's only as good as you are engaged. If you go to your trainer once a month, it ain't gonna make a whole heck of a lot of difference. It's pretty tough. Same thing about your fitness or was nutrition and finances. We know people that coach finances. You need to lean into those folks if you want some help on that.
Okay, let's step outside the bounds a little bit. It's even true with relationships.
What?
If you're not consistent by showing your spouse some attention on a regular basis, they're going to feel neglected after some period of time. And if you do, they're going to generally feel appreciated. Some women are harder to please than others, but generally they're going to feel
Comes from the single guy.
Comes from the single
guy. And Valentine's Day is coming right around the corner, buddy.
Valentine's Day is right around the corner.
So, you never know. But I would say in all of those things, like, life is going to throw you curveballs, and you're going to need to look for people to surround yourself with that will help you to be the person in whatever area you want to be.
Okay, and we touched on this before. So if you're going to be consistent, you want to make it easy to do. right? That's why we say lower the intensity at first.
So how does that relate to my finances?
Well, you want it to be easy to do. So if you want to save some money, if you want to build a nest egg, you start with a little bit. You start with $5 a day, or $5 a week, or $5 a month even.
Yeah, it's probably based around how often you get paid, right? That's probably the easiest way to do it. And you would recommend that they put it someplace where they can't get to it, so they can't go back there and rob the bank. Right?
So you got to make it easy to do, and you got to make it hard to do the opposite. So if you don't carry a credit card around in your wallet, guess what? You're not going to use your credit cards.
Right.
It's not easy to whip out that credit card and on the spur of the moment decide to make a big purchase.
And in fitness, we can say you can start your day there. You can start your day going there every day. And you could do the exercise that you know.
Okay, but even better than that, if you could start it just by taking a walk around the block.
Right.
Walk outside your front door. It's easy. Put your shoes on and go for 20 minutes, 3 times a week.
And your health and nutrition, we can say you can start by having a coach and coming up with 2 or 3 recipes that you know are healthy. You know are going to get you to where you want to be. And you just be good at those recipes.
Yeah. And I would say to complement the recipe piece, you want to stay away from the highly processed flours and sugars and the high carb diets. You want to get your carbs mainly from vegetables, and you want to have lean protein. Those 2 things. You don't want a mountain of fries or a mountain of rice or a mountain of potatoes.
Right. We talked a little bit, about calories. But the interesting thing is, the reason why you lose weight if you focus on veggies and you focus on proteins is because it's very difficult to eat too many calories in those things. Very easy to eat too many calories with carbs or fried foods or donuts or whatever, those sweet kind of things. Ton of calories and not too much, and you spikes your blood sugar, and then you're hungry again in just a little bit.
So alternatively, to make that hard, don't keep that stuff in the house.
Right.
Don't keep the cookies in the house. Right. Don't keep the crackers in the house. Because they scientifically engineer those things so that you're never going to be satisfied. That is their goal, to sell you another box of whatever.
Yeah, we read something the other day that's talked about how they used to be, we as a society or whatever, we used to be attracted to colorful things like fruits and vegetables are super colorful, right? And not the bland stuff. Well, now they've made all these super sweet, highly refined items in super great colors,
Right.
That's the
appealing.
Appealing.
Yeah. Well, okay, so have we convinced you yet? You got to be consistent. So, and all of this stuff comes around to having routines in your life so that you don't have to think about it, making it so easy that you don't have to think about it. So, if you have time, you work out first thing in the morning because you're going to feel more energized, you feel better. Work out a small routine, even if it's just walking around the block. When you're going to set an alarm for your snacks and your fuelings.
And your hydration.
And your
it's
hydration.
All the same thing. Yeah, I would say the big thing is the routine is key. Now, most of us revolve our routine around our school or our work. And it was a big transition for both of us when we retired because, again, we had to reestablish that routine. So if you aren't one of those people that goes to school or goes to work and that can base your routine, then you really need to think it out and you need to get into that regular routine of the things that you're going to do that you can repeat every day.
Right.
And you will find yourself
and to circle back to the recipes, if you're looking for some awesome recipes just in time for Valentine's Day,
right? Klar Brothers Bistro, here for your health.
Yeah, you can get this thing on Amazon and you can make your loved one a super awesome healthy recipe that's so simple
even a dude can make it. That's right. And if you want more of this, just reach out to us. We'd be happy to share it with you. Tell you what we do, how we do it, and
we love helping people because it helps us stay on track. So it's a self-fulfilling kind of an activity for us. So with that, Brothers Bistro
out. With that, Brothers Bistro out.
With that,
Brothers Bistro,
we're here for your health.
With that, Brothers Bistro, we're here for your health.